I'd like to share a little piece from my book, Speaking from the Scar. I'd been feeling like I was ready for a change in career perhaps. The love and light healing place where I had been regularly meditating offered readings. And I honestly thought it would just be a bit of fun. Let me tell you, that reading was anything but fun. As soon as I sat down on the couch, the woman opposite me said, "I'm getting that you're blocked." Instinctively, I knew this was related to being sexually abused. But from my perspective, this place where I was supposedly stuck had no exit. I felt annoyed. I struck out. Well, if I'm blocked, it's probably because I was sexually abused when I was 9, and I really don't see what I can do about that now. She gave a knowing nod, but didn't speak, so I continued talking. I've already done a lot of work on this. I've talked to my husband and I've talked to my friends and I've spoken with my boss. I could feel my agitation rising. That's good. She paused and waited for me to continue, as if she knew there was more for me to say. I don't understand why this is hanging about like a dark cloud. As I continued to speak, my tears also began to flow. I was so frustrated this had come up again. There's nothing more I can do. I've cried and I've talked, but that's it. There's nothing more I can do. I can't tell my mum. She'd be devastated to know this happened to me. Through my blubbering, I continued talking. She might blame herself or think she'd enabled this to happen. I don't want her to ever think she was responsible for this happening. I took another tissue from the box and blew my nose. But look, I'm fine, really. I'm fine. I only came here today to see what you'd say about me getting a new job, and I'm bored at work, but I'm not sure what to do next. Can't we just talk about that? We debated it for a little while. She insisted this blockage was related to being abused, and I insisted I wanted guidance on my career path. The whole time, I felt more like I was sitting in a counselling session than a clairvoyant reading. I kept repeating there was nothing more I could do. I mopped up my tears and repeated again, I'm okay, really, I am. I'm fine. She looked at me with a wry smile. Really? You're fine, are you? Look at you. You are a mess. Through my tears, I pleaded with her that I couldn't do anything more. I explained again that I couldn't tell Mum, that I'd never want to put myself through the ordeal of reporting to the police. So really, there was no point. I asserted again there was nothing that could be done. She paused in contemplation, and then she asked me a question. Who are you really protecting? I didn't have an immediate answer. She was, of course, referring to my desire to protect my mum. But her question suggested someone else. I hesitated. Who else could I possibly be protecting? It occurred to me that I wanted to protect myself. But that didn't add up because I'd been speaking with my husband and my boss and my friends. I wasn't keeping a secret anymore. And then I understood. The silence that I had convinced myself was for the best, that would save my mother from the pain of knowing what had happened, that I'd created because I believed there was no point ever telling anyone. This silence was protecting him, the perpetrator. I was protecting the man that had abused me. I was protecting a pedophile. This was a revelation. Honestly, I had never considered it from this perspective before. The silence that I was certain was for the best was allowing this man to get away with what he had done. This changed everything. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew I had to. I didn't want to, but I understood in that moment I needed to tell Mum. This man was no longer going to have the protection of my silence.